Okay, so since we know how to load the post and we already finished writing the function for that purpose, we will now go to implement the load and let it have an effect to the table view. Okay, we're coming back to our home vc.swift class, and what we need to do is these protocols, we now need to work with the protocols which belongs to the table view controller. Okay, first of all, number of section, we do not require this as we're going to have only one section which shows the post. And then we have a native protocol which is a number of rows in the section, which means number of posts. How many posts must be, how many rows should be in this table view. So first of all, the number of rows must be the equal number of posts that we are having. So we'll write load posts dot count, and here you can put then, yeah, no need actually exclamation mark. Okay, so this is a number of posts. Okay, very good. And after that we'll write another native function which is cell for row at index path. This is the one, cell for row at index path. Okay, this is function which is responsible for the configuration of the cells. Cell, or let's do a minor test. Just I'll build and run the app, and it must have a 3 cells. Yeah, we'll load this function in the viewDidLoad method. Here we'll load posts. Offset will be skip, and limit will be limit variable which we have in the class. Okay, it gets broken. Yeah, correct, guys. Now what we need to do is we need to write a new protocol which belongs to the table view here, which is a cell for an index path. This is index path. This is configuration, cell configuration. Okay. Here we must return at least some cell. So I'll do minor experiment. I'll return UI table view cell open and close brackets, which means just an empty cell. Okay, now everything is fine. So here we must build a logic. As you remember, we can have two types of posts. Type number one is without the picture, and type number two is with the picture. Okay, how we can track this? It is super simple because we have built a very professional logic in this course. So we'll write let picture equals to posts. We're accessing the class variable posts, then you can put question mark. We are accessing index path dot row. Then we are writing square brackets, and we do write picture as string. So we're trying to access the picture URL, for example. And here we'll just keep you return your table view cell with the open and close round brackets. This is, I believe, must be removed. Okay, very good. Now we can build without any errors. And here I'll try showing you something. It's not necessary for you to do the following. I'll just show something for you. So I'll print out posts once we load it in our load posts function. Here we go. So the posts got loaded. Okay, so this is one post, this is the second one, and that one is the third one. Let's see what it consists of. Okay, each post is having the user profile picture of the uploader. It has a cover picture. It has a date created when the post has been created. It has the first name of the uploader. It has ID of the post, last name of uploader, picture of the post, which can be a blank picture or it can have something, and the text of the post, and the ID, personal ID of the uploader. So this is post number one. It comes without the picture. And for that post, we must show no picture cell, which we have created in the two videos ago. And this is another post which has a picture in it. So this one must use a second cell which we have created, which is a picture cell. Okay, so what we are doing now, here we are, let me explain you index path row. Okay, we have here 3 posts, 1, 2, and 3. Index path means every single post which is loaded has its own index which Xcode assigns to it. Why Xcode assigns to every single post an index? Whenever the array is loaded, every single element of the array or the dictionary will have its own index. The first element will have the index 0. The second element will have an index 1. Third element will have an index 2, and so on. So what we are doing here, we creating a picture, we are creating one constant with the name picture URL, which will store in itself what it will store, where it goes. It goes to the posts array first, then it goes to the index path, which is that one, everyone's index path. Then it goes row, means it goes to the index path of all the posts. Then it goes to the certain row 0, then row 1, then row 2, etc. It goes to the certain row, let's say 1, 2, 3. Then it goes to the picture, which is that one, picture. So the key picture, whatever is under the key picture, it will access it and store in this one small constant. This is what it does. So index path, why we don't write here 1, 2, 3? Because we want Xcode access every single element. We don't want Xcode to access only first or second, third, or etc. Because this function, self-aware index path, will be loaded every single time till it will loop through every single element of the array. That's why index path and every single row. This is the meaning of this. Okay, since we are accessing all the URL or all the values under the key picture, now we can build the further logic. We'll just simply write if picture URL is empty, then means no picture in the post. Then we will access one cell. Else means if there is a certain URL, then we will show the cell with the picture. Picture in the post. Okay, here we are accessing URL, we're accessing the value, which is a URL, under the key picture. We're accessing the value under the key picture for every single element of the array, which means index path row. Okay, very good. So here we will write here, first of all, we now need to access the cell. How we will do this? It's super simple. Definitely, if we want to create something, we need to create either variable or constant. We'll write let cell equals to table view dot dequeue reusable cell with identifier for index path. With identifier, if you remember, we're going to the main storyboard. We are going to main storyboard. We are selecting in home VC scene, home VC controller, we're selecting no pixel. Sorry, we're going to attributes inspector, and here we need to write reuse identifier. What is the best practice to give the name of the identifier the same name as the class? So I go to class inspector, I'll copy this value and I will paste it here. The same I will do for the pick cell. I will copy this class name and I will use the same name to be identifier. So what we are doing here, we are creating a new constant cell, then we're going to the table view and we want to dequeue cell with the identifier, which was no pixel for index path. And we want to cast it as no pixel class, no pixel. Why we are casting it as a no pixel? In order to access these objects. Okay, here we are accessing the cell from main storyboard. Okay, so as you see here, we have a one object which is a full name, which is actually the full name. For that object, when we must use a first name concatenated to the last name. Okay, so we'll create here, we'll write here a logic full name logic. I'll create a new variable which is let first name be equals to, as you see here, we want to access in the post the value under the key first name. So we're going to the posts in the square brackets, right, index path dot row. In the next square brackets, let's access the key first name and let's cast it as string. The same we're doing for the last name. Let last name equals to posts. In the square brackets, we write index path row. Then in the next square brackets, we write last name and we cast it as string. And what we are doing now, we will show it now in the full name label. Cell, this is the cell which we have created up here. It must be like that. What it advises us. We can, let's say, force downcast it. And then we will access this in the full name label. Cell.fullName label, here we need to force downcast it. Cell.fullName label.text will be equals to first name dot capitalized plus gap, then again plus last name dot capitalized. And finally here we want to return cell. You'll be able now to build and run your app. Here we go. So for the first cell we have a Joseph James. For the cell or for the post which comes without the profile picture. Okay, so the next one will be a date logic, to write a date logic. Okay, here this is actually what we have done, but we will do it one more time. Formatter, let formatter get equals to date formatter, open and close round brackets, then write formatter get date format. So what we are trying to do here, I'll show you now. I will just build it and I will print out posts just further to explain it for you. There is no need to build it. Okay, so date created. So this is the date which we receive. It is not a string value. This is actually a date itself. So we must put this date into the format to be recognized as being date. Okay, so we'll write a format which will follow this format. Formatter get means we're getting the date. Formatter get dot date format equals to year 4 times y, because 4 digits here for year, dash, then we have double M, which is for month, then again dash, double D for date, then we have space, then we have hours, colon, then we have minutes, M lowercase, then we have seconds. Here we go. Okay, very good. So now we will convert this, we'll convert the string to be a proper date. So we'll write let date equals to formatter get dot date from the string, and the string we must access now this actually value. Okay, here I'll write let date string equals to posts, then open and close square brackets, then index path dot row exclamation mark, and then we'll access date date underscore created and as being string, and here we'll write date string. We will be now able to build it. Now we will, so this is actually a date which we can now use and show, or to show out to in the format which we want. So we'll declare now a new format which is for showing to the end user. Formatter show equals date formatter open and close round brackets. Then we'll write formatter show dot date format equals to, and then in quotation marks we'll write, as in Facebook, first they write the full month name, this is how we can achieve it, then 2 digits for date and 4 digits for the year, then dash, hours and minutes, and we can show it out. So we'll write cell dot date label dot text will be equals to formatter show dot string from the date lowercase, like this. Here we will put exclamation mark to force downcast it. Okay, here we go. So now we see the date exactly in the Facebook. Excellent. What we're doing here in this block of code, we are taking the date received from the server and putting it in the following format to be recognized as being date. Okay, here we are writing a new readable format and putting date into this format and converting it to the string to be shown to the user. Okay, this is what we have done here. And the next step which we can do will be to show the text as well. So here we'll write let text equals to posts, then in the square brackets we'll write index path dot row here exclamation mark, and again square brackets we are accessing the text from the server, that is the one. And we want to cast it as being string. Okay, here is the, like this, I'll just make it more spaces to make some logical gaps. That one is the text logic. Here we're accessing the text from the server and we'll simply showing it. Post text label dot text equals text. Here we go. Here we go. Very, very, very good and very excellent, guys. So this is actually the text of the post, and you see the cell gets automatically resized. And the following one will be pictures logic, which is quite complicated part. Yeah, picture logic, it here will be AVA logic, which is quite complicated part at this point of time. Okay, so we will write here a new function, and we want to load the profile pictures of the users.